Put the mic where your mouth is.
Yes, sir. All right, man, let's keep it moving. Next topic. Broadcasting from sea to shining sea, 0400 Across the Street Productions presents the 0400 Across the Street Sports Pod Report. Now, here are your hosts, Derek Little and Jay Taylor. Yes, sir. Today is December the 28th, 2016. Yes, indeed. We are back in the booth and ready to go. The NBA season just kicked into high gear. You know what I'm talking about. The NFL playoffs are in sight. But first, you already know, as usual, we have a great show on tap for you. As always, big time news, big time show. Can't wait. All that and more on tap for you on this podcast.
Absolutely. Glad to be back with you. Merry Christmas out there to everyone. We took a little time off, enjoyed some time with our families, enjoyed some of this great NBA and NFL action over the weekend. And now it's time to get back to work.
We got to.
We got to get back to work. The first thing we got to talk about is your boys, Cleveland Cavaliers, against the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
Christmas Day action.
Okay. So I'll be a Cleveland Cavalier fan for a second.
Yeah, I mean you are, but
not really. I mean, look, here's the thing, okay? Going into this game, we no one likes the way that Kevin Durant just up and just went to Golden State. So that already has the fans involved in this, okay? People tuned in. At the same time, you had the Pittsburgh and Baltimore game going on, okay? But folks were tuned into this basketball game to see
Pittsburgh
exactly.
Baltimore game was a good game too.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
And folks were tuned into this game to see exactly how KD, because I mean, the way that the NBA works is the NBA starts up the last week of October, and then you go through November and December, but the season doesn't really kick off or kick into high gear until Christmas Day.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So when it does kick into high gear, you have these marquee games, and this was the one. This was the one everyone was waiting for. KD in his new digs, in his new home with Golden State, and then you have the Cleveland Cavaliers, the reigning NBA champs, with the best player on the planet, LeBron James. Okay, and possibly one of the best sidekicks, and Kyrie. I mean, what do you think?
LeBron James, best sidekick.
Wow.
Right.
I mean, look.
We talking about okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So as this game goes down, you got Golden State making a couple baskets. I think in the fourth quarter they were up by 14 points.
Yeah, right. As much as 14 points.
Absolutely. And Cleveland then starts to walk them down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Particularly Kyrie Irving. I think he had 14 points in the fourth quarter himself.
Right.
LeBron James had 4, had a big monster dunk, 2 dunks, assisted by Kyrie. So you know, Kyrie Irving controlled that fourth quarter.
Right.
And he brought that killer instinct, that killer mentality that was missing 2-3 quarters.
Hey, that Coach K put in him.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you know, and don't get it twisted. LeBron had a great game, had a great had a monster third quarter.
Go ahead and say it. Coach K put that in.
Well, he didn't even play under Coach K, but
you will not give that man credit for nothing.
He played like 3 games under Coach K,
but he was there for 2 seconds.
You know, he's obviously coming to his own. LeBron has provided him some cover to be able to do what he does. You know, because before LeBron went back to Cleveland, Kyrie was this kind of dude.
Yeah, he was a scorer.
He was a scorer. He was
definitely
that's what he is.
A great scorer, even before LeBron got back. And then once LeBron comes back, LeBron allows that highlight, that spotlight to be placed on that organization so that other people in the league
you know, you got LeBron, you got Kevin Durant, you know, and various other players brought in to build that team up, make them better around Kyrie, really. Right. Because Kyrie was that
All right. Enough with the love affair. Let's get down to the 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes.
Last 2 minutes of the game. Okay.
So the last 2 minutes of the game, you got LeBron cutting to the hole. Kyrie feeds him with a dish that no one else was expecting. Beautiful play. LeBron hangs on the rim.
Okay.
for a good 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, he's at home. So
He's at home.
I think the NBA allows hanging on the rim when you're at home.
For 15 minutes. Yes.
Yeah.
And
but you know what?
Draymond is
they let you
right
do
there.
that if somebody's under you, right?
Well, here's the thing. So Draymond is sitting there. Draymond is looking at him like, okay, y'all gonna call a tech on that?
Hands up.
Like, seriously.
The referee is behind Draymond watching.
And yeah, just watching. I mean, at one point in time, I thought the refs were fans. I mean, I thought I saw him give
It kinda
LeBron a
looks
high
like they
five.
are.
So then that happens, and then you have before that you have the shot clock violation of Kevin Durant, where Kyrie Irving just basically runs through Andre Iguodala. No call, no foul. You have the last play of the game where after Kyrie hits his turnaround jumper on Clay played perfect defense. Kyrie took a couple steps.
Took a couple steps. But they don't call walking in the NBA no more.
They're not going to call walking in the NBA. And you can't,
Right.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're not going to call it that second. But the last play of the game, Kevin Durant gets the ball on the left side of the court, going back towards half court, which I always think with 3 seconds left in a game, you don't want to catch the ball going away from the basket. I just think that's a bad play. He catches the ball. He's going away from the basket. Richard Jefferson, due to replay, we see that he had stepped on his foot, and then there was a slight bump to him. No call.
Yeah.
No call.
I mean, I would let the bump away, but the Grayson Allen trip, I don't know about that.
I don't think it was on purpose, though. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. It wasn't nowhere near Grayson Allen.
Okay.
You really think that Richard Jefferson did that on purpose?
I mean, feet could have got tangled up. Obviously, that happens throughout the course of any game. But
right,
like Kevin said, he fell. He didn't fall on his own.
Right.
And I think most of everybody saw that was clear. But you have to understand, and this is what the Golden State Warriors have to do. They have to understand that in those situations, that no calls are going to be made. And Cleveland essentially bullied them off the court.
Right.
That's what they did. And Golden State allowed it to happen. They didn't take those chances that Cleveland took. Cleveland took those chances of, with the Kyrie Irving running through Andre Iguodala. I'm gonna play the game. I'm gonna do this a little bit extra, okay? Right. And if the refs call it, they call it. If not, oh well.
The Seattle Seahawks effect.
The tone is set. You understand what I'm saying? So, even on the last play of the game, the refs aren't going to call anything. You can get away with a little bit of extra push, a little bit extra shove. So, they got bullied.
So here's the biggest story, okay? And as I'm watching this, it starts to become very, very clear. If you're Steph Curry and you've won a title with the way that the team was 2 years ago. You get back to the finals last year with the way that the team was constructed. And now in the fourth quarter, you're not even a go-to option anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. At the end of the game, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kevin Durant had maybe 3 points in the fourth quarter. So he wasn't being as assertive, but the last play of the game was drawn for Kevin Durant, not for your two-time unanimous MVP, Steph Curry.
Well, I mean, Kevin Durant, you talk about matchups. He was taking shots in the fourth quarter. He was just missing them.
Right.
He had one or two bricks that he threw up.
He had some bad shots, but he was still more in rhythm than Steph Curry was. And so this is going to be a problem going forward, because in a 7-game series, I think it's still going to go to game 7. And I don't think that this team, the other thing that wasn't being spoken is without J.R. Smith, you don't have that instant offense coming off the bench.
Right.
Richard Jefferson, whatever he's been sleeping in, a hyperbolic chamber or whatever it was. Yeah. I mean, he looked like Arizona Richard Jefferson.
Yeah, he taking something. Somebody need to test that dude.
Yeah, I think he got tested. When they went back in on Monday. It was an extra bounce in this step.
Unless he's on that vitamin therapy or something. You know what I'm saying?
Look, he may have taken a couple flights to Germany. You know, it looks like everybody doing it.
That's it. That's it.
But so when you're looking at Golden State going forward, I mean, look, it's just one game. It's more about the playoffs than it is the regular season. But that is your statement game.
That's your statement game, and also,
Cleveland took that.
Keep in mind, this is Golden State on the road. There's one ball. All right. I don't care how many players you got on your team. Still one basketball. They were up by 14 points going into the fourth quarter. It took a Game 7 finals-like performance,
right, from
Cleveland, right, to make this happen,
and Kyrie,
and mainly Kyrie,
right,
to make this happen.
But I tell you,
are they going to be able to do this?
I know what you're going to say. Are they going to be able to do that over and over again? Guess what?
Over and over again. They've done it. I agree. They've done it.
So look, I can't say that it won't happen again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, they got to solve the Kyrie problem.
Right.
That's what you got to do.
You're going to have to trap.
You know,
you're going to have to trap. You're going to have to come off of whoever else is out there. And I know that Klay is a good one-on-one defender, but you're going to have to come off of whoever else is out there defending. You're going to have to trap Kyrie, get the ball out of his hand because he's their closer.
I don't know if you can get him out of it. Can't get it out of his hands.
I tell you what, just basketball knowledge to a T, you have to run the trap at him. As soon as that play is drawn up, you know that they're going to him. They're I mean, look, he's one of the best closers in the NBA.
Yeah, he closing on him for sure.
So you got to get the ball out of his hand. And look, I venture to say you would rather have the ball in LeBron's hand in that situation than Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean, shooting the ball. Right. If you're talking about a jump shot, I'd rather have LeBron take it than Kyrie.
Absolutely.
I mean,
so you got to run it. You got to run the trap.
Shooter. He's a better jump shooter than LeBron.
You're gonna have to run that trap.
Saying that.
Absolutely.
You know, if you got time for LeBron to drive to the basket, that's pretty much a guaranteed 2 points for LeBron.
So let me ask you this. The questionable calls. The league comes out later on, the next day even, I believe it was, and they say, hey, we missed some calls in that last 2 minutes. They asked Kevin Durant about it yesterday, I believe it was, and Kevin Durant goes on and says, you know, hey, look, it's crap that the NBA is throwing the refs under the bus. It should have never come down to this. He takes the high road, which is, look, you got to applaud him for that. He said that it should have never come down to that push at the end of the game. The fouls that they didn't call, the technical foul on LeBron that they did not call was not what ultimately changed the outcome of the game.
They called that tech on Draymond in the first couple minutes.
Hey, they sure did.
Look, the champ and the king are going to get that type of treatment on home court.
So
this isn't
you
new.
Said something.
Look, we talk about this every year. All right, this isn't new. This isn't new stuff. This has been happening for years, decades in the NBA
since the Jordan rules.
Well, I mean, Jordan never got any special treatment. Never.
Okay, so let's just go back for a second. You and I, we were talking shortly thereafter the game. Okay, okay, and you said, "Hey, look, you know the Jordan rules."
I said the so-called Jordan rules.
You said that they were real, and now there's this thing called the LeBron rules.
The LeBron rules.
Okay, and you want to explain that?
No, well, I'm just saying, you know, for what you know, people thought that there was something called Jordan rules. Okay,
did they?
That he wouldn't get certain calls, or people would call certain things on him. I don't really think that was the case, but it's out there. Okay,
right?
It's got a name to it. But you know, LeBron, look, to me, that dude charges almost every time he put the ball on the floor.
And when you talk to Cleveland fans, they're going to tell you that LeBron takes a lot of abuse and he gets fouled. He on almost
initiates contact,
you know,
which is okay. Which is okay. I mean, if you're going in to get the foul, that's what you got to do. Mm-hmm. But man, I saw him throw Steph Curry, and Steph Curry's a small dude. Don't get me wrong, compared to LeBron. Right. I saw him throw Steph Curry like 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah,
elbow out, arm out, and everything.
Yeah,
nothing called.
Well,
I'm like, yo, if that's at the top of the key and you got 2 comparatively sized guards playing together, that's called every time. As soon as you extend that arm, that's called every time.
My issue is the crying about the non-call after every time he goes to the hole.
That
And
is
he
the
never